hierarchy of office, people will say, don't forget where you came from. Some of us had humble beginnings. Don't forget that. Don't take those things for granted where the simplistic things, the simple things were important. Family. How you grew up without much money. How you grew up without expecting things, but being grateful for everything you got. There's different kinds of memories that are, say for instance, your 40th birthday party. Surprise! And you just want to crawl under the table because you don't want anything to do with being in the center of attention. Remember on your 40th birthday when you wanted to crawl under the table and somebody said, speech, and you said, no, I can't speak publicly. And they said, well, you better because you're becoming a pastor. Oh, okay. And then there are memories that shape and form you. I had a landlady who was in mid-80s, and she owned 5.5 acres of land. There was a meadows. She owned, there's a pond. There was an in-ground pool. There's woods and trees around. And she had a shed with all kinds of things, machinery and gadgets from way back. She grew up in the Depression. She had millions of dollars in the bank. But she rode things until the very last, until she couldn't repair or anything. She reused, never threw anything away, reused, repaired. And that stuck with her. Even though that was in the 20s, late 20s. It just sticks with her. That memory sticks with her, and it changed her life forever. If anybody had been through treatment for alcohol or drugs, you remember, what was it like? What did I feel like when I was stoned or drunk? Oh man, I don't like that. And then when you're on the road to recovery, you think back in times when you think, what is it like feeling sober and healthy? What is that like? And that changes you, the way you think. We all have memories that we cherish and we keep with us. The church has a memory. When I ask people at cottage meetings, tell me about the history of Trinity Church. There's a long history. Over 165 years of history. What do people remember? And the people think fondly of the times and the hobo dinners and other things, the circles and the Bible studies, and having education everywhere in the building until we built the education wing. Those memories form part of our faith stories. And it makes a difference to us. I received a letter the other day via email from a friend whose father was on a long journey. He was in a 2-hour car ride. His son had cancer and they wasn't sure what was going to happen to him. And as he's driving from middle state of Illinois to Chicago area, he had a revelation. It was like God was speaking to him in the car. He was by himself and it was late at night. And part of the letter that I'll read to you, it says, God is saying this to him, his recollection. Always remember that I love all mankind, and those who do good on earth will enjoy everlasting eternal peace. A peace and contentment that you cannot now comprehend. And the letter goes on, of course, but can you imagine what an impact that made on this man? And he went back and told his family about it. Can you imagine that the families have changed somewhat because of the words that this man heard? Change. Remember. Jesus talks about it in his communion. Remember me. In his foot washing, when he washed the disciples' feet, remember this and do this yourselves as well. Remember the crucifixion. Remember that the tomb was empty. And sometimes our lives feel empty, but then we remember the times when God was active and effective throughout history. Throughout time, we read scriptures of God always seeming to be there for the people, helping along, granting mercy, and helping them along. And times when we're struggling, we think of back times when God was there for us, and it gives us renewed strength for the journey ahead. Christ is risen. Remember that. Amen.